Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Michael Hartley with Action Coach. What needs to pivot in my business, kickstart your day, get you refocused, because business is changing daily right now. Well, good day. I am Dr. Michael Hartley, a non-medical type of doctor. I operate on business, and today's focus is going to be how to work 10 fewer hours a week and have your business still be scalable, sustainable, profitable, and all of those kind of things. So first and foremost, when we look at the structure of a business, whether you are a business with 100 employees or whether you are a business with no one other than yourself yet in the business, the same type of principles apply. And if you've never actually watched our webinar on self-mastery, time management, things like that, go watch that one as well. Because candidly, time is the one thing we cannot get more of. We can go get more customers or clients, we can get more dollars, we can have new vacations, we can get more things in life. We are unable to get more time. Time is an ever constant, it moves forward whether we want it to or not. And so making sure that we invest our time properly to get us the return, whatever that return is that you desire for it to be, is super important. And it's why we have it as one of the 4 key areas of the mastery level of business, the first step towards building a business. You see, we'll never be the experts in any specific industry, and that's intentional. What we are is we're the experts in how to build a business. And so when your desire is to build an actual business, a commercial, profitable enterprise that can work without you, an entity, an asset that moves forward regardless, these principles are ridiculously important for those reasons. And so, we have a client, and they're out of Michigan, and we've been working with them a little over a year now. And when we first started working, Michigan, as with other places, you have very much a blue collar mindset. It's like, I'm the workhorse of the business. And, that's kind of one of the reasons why he became successful. And yet he was still doing a lot of the job of the business. He has a team of 15 people, and yet he was still out in the field at times. He was still essentially doing all the marketing and the sales. He was being the general manager. He was doing all of these things. He had team members in place to do them. He just chose to do them. And what happened is he thought that if he didn't, that his business would suffer, or that his team would feel like, oh, he's just phoning it in now, he's not committed, those kind of things. And for a year now, we've been focused on getting him one step out of the business, one more step out of the business, one more step out of the business, to the point where now he just got done taking a month vacation. He took the entire, in fact, he got into his coaching session this past week and was like, so I don't have anything done because we decided to just go on vacation for a month. And it wasn't planned. It was just like, hey, let's go do it, because his business is beginning to work without him. So as soon as he had let me know, a handful of weeks ago, that he was going on vacation, I started, his general manager, who is now in place, started to being coached down instead of him. And that's what's really where we want business to be, is to where it's a commercial enterprise that can work without you. And to start with, we got to get you working less hours and your team to become more efficient as you grow the team. So let's dive in. What needs to pivot in your business? What needs to pivot today? So let's talk to the 4 things, the 4 areas to begin with. This is not the end all be all list. This is the 4 areas to begin with and how to work 10 fewer hours a week. First one, fire your C or D grade clients. Who are those customers or clients that complain the most, take the most amount of your time, spend the least, or least profitable? Who are those individuals? And you may need to fire them. We have a client who literally realized at the end of last year that 80% of her team's time was dedicated towards clients that were bringing in 5% of their overall revenue, let alone profit. And so we focused on what can be done in the business to shift that. Well, we put some new processes and standards in place in the business and completely eliminated that from even being the case. And so now her team just gained 80% more of their time to go dedicate towards other things. What I'll share with you is this specific client is in an industry that, because of a pandemic, has essentially been completely shut down. To this day, can only operate sparingly, even still today. And yet, because of that one shift, the first 2 months plus some of our coaching from last year and some of the shifts gave her enough profitability in the business to where they then had cash available to get them through the rest of this entire year without having any sales. Now, we're still working on getting them sales, and they are, and things like that. With that said, though, if there was no such thing as government PPP, payroll protection, or any of those kind of things, and they didn't have any sales, they still would have been set up okay. They were profitable enough. So not only can firing C or D grade clients give you more time, it can also make you more profitable to make your business sustainable for the next time something like this happens. Because history repeats itself. There will be another recession and things like that. That's just what happens. And so understanding that and being prepared for it is super important. In fact, have you ever put a bulleted list together of who your A and B grade clients are? What are the characteristics that they have? What are the commonalities that they have? Those individuals that are A or B grade clients or customers are those that are the least headache. They spend the most, they come back the most often, they send referrals all the time your way. Think through what that actually looks like in your business, because that will allow you and your team to be more effective, more efficient, and a lot happier, because you're not having to deal with C or D grade clients. Be okay with firing clients. Number 2 of the 4, double your conversion rates. And depending on your industry, you will have different conversion rates. As an example, any industry that gives out a quote or an estimate or a proposal, you have conversion rates that happen before and after it. Meaning, in marketing, they talk about having a pipeline. People, total people who have heard your business, they've seen your marketing, they've engaged with maybe one of your current customers or clients or members or guests or subscribers, however you classify individuals that give your business money. And then you have what's called a take-up rate or conversion rate from that into whatever the next step would be. And again, if you're giving proposals or quotes or whatever, then that's there. If you're not, then it could be them just engaging with your business, right? Sending a note, an email, a phone call, or maybe you getting their information, reaching out to them. You see, so then you have that conversion rate. And then you have the next conversion rate, which actually getting them to say yes into spending money with your business, whatever that is, at least to a degree. And then you have another conversion rate, which gets us to the next one, which is double your number of transactions per customer. Your conversion rate on repeat business. What percentage of your customer base is repeating every month or every 6 months or every 12 months or every 3 years, depending on your industry, right? The automotive industry has a different conversion rate than a clothing shop. Just naturally, right? You can go buy clothes every single day. You're not going to go buy a new car every single day. Now, you may look at how many transactions within the family or something like that, because different members would need a vehicle at different times. So you could look at different types of conversion rates there. And then who are they referring versus, a plumber who is going, okay, how, I'm looking at how many transactions am I having to get into somebody's home? Well, let's focus on one a month or something like that. Or, window cleaning. Once a quarter, once a month, so just depending on your industry, you should understand how often should repeat business be happening, and then putting KPIs, key performance indicators, in place to track how often that actually happens, how often that actually occurs. And then you set targets. So you can say, okay, our business is a business that we should have 1 transaction every month from every customer. Currently, we have 35% of our customers giving us, a transaction every month, which gives us, okay, so we're at 35%, we want 100%. What's the next milestone? Well, the next milestone may be 50%. Okay, what do we need to do as a business to get 50% of our customers to come back more often, once a month? Or if you're one of those longer term industries, okay, what do we need to do to get other, more referrals within the 3 to 5 year time frame that someone would actually be having their next transaction, or someone within their family, or set KPIs for those kind of things. Because here's why. Especially if you are the one responsible for it today, These will be things that in the future you will delegate, not abdicate. You will properly delegate to somebody else on your team. They will then be responsible for it. And so when they become responsible for it, you need to have a system in place to get them to track, test, and measure it, and then report back to you or to your GM, depending on how your structure of the business is, to make sure that they are actually doing the activities and results needed to generate the results. You see, when you focus on what your business must look like for it to run and operate without you, when you have clarity on what the business must do to generate enough revenue and profit to build the team up, to then give you more life, because business should give you more life. Business should not suck the life out of you. When your business is properly set up that way, you have these systems in place. So fire C or D grade clients, double conversion rates, double the number of repeat business, the number of transactions per customer that you have. And then number 4, run your business on autopilot, which is the purpose of systematizing each one of these things. You see, majority of industries, I dare say every industry, you can systematize 80% of it. You can automate, you can put your business on autopilot for about 80% of the business. And then you must humanize the other 20%. At the end of the day, business is 2 primary things. It is people and it is numbers. The numbers side, you can automate all of that. You can systematize all of that. The human side, well, that takes interaction. That takes leadership. And so when you put these systems in place, when you have an idea of where the business is going to go by the time you are ready to exit it, and you should have 2 exits in mind. The first exit is going to be the one where the business runs without you, where you get to decide if you are in the business every day or not. Or if you want to be like our client who took a month vacation and came back to a business. It was interesting. I was like, so what was the results, by the way? You took a month vacation, which, a year ago he thought would be like the worst thing in the world. He came back and was like, well, a year ago, I won't give you the exact numbers, but it was X, we'll just call it that. We'll say it was $125 for the month in business. And this year we did $147 a month. So the increase in revenue was substantial, we'll put it that way, because he was no longer in the way. His business was now structured properly with the right people in place, and they grew it without him even needing to be there. That is our desire for where you eventually arrive at as well. Because then the business starts working without you, then you can sell it for a much larger multiple than if it is dependent on you. So those are 4 things to start focusing on today. Identify at least one that you are going to start focusing on, like taking action on immediately. Which one of these 4, please put it into the comments, put it into the chat. Let us know which one of these 4 is the one that you are going to start taking action on today. If you're interested, get connected with us. We put out other content and things like that outside of this webinar. Would love to hear from you what pivots you're making, what actions you're taking to ultimately start to see results in the near future. Make it a phenomenal rest of your day. Bye for now.